You probably hear the sounds of people on a farm, an airplane up ahead. I've been out here for like 20 minutes, just walking back and forth on this one strip of road, thinking about what I'm going to talk about today. And the thing that kept getting in the way of my mind was the people that I've been associating with since I guess 2 months ago. I started on Sundays going to visit in the afternoon my old tabletop gaming friends at the gaming store where they play Age of Sigmar, the what became of Warhammer Fantasy, right? And I just, my mind keeps going back to that experience and how it feels alien and strange. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. But first, let's admire how nice it looks. I love a beautiful overcast morning, and the temperature is oh so pleasant. It's like, I don't know, 60 degrees, 59 degrees. There's a cool breeze. Hey, that rhymed. And it feels so lovely out here. I wish it could feel like this all the time. Anyway, it is just a few minutes after 7, so there's probably going to be some traffic. So I'm going to... Oh, there's a vehicle coming right now, actually. And there it goes. And like I was about to say, since it's right after 7, we're probably going to see a bit of traffic on this road. So I'm going to go dodge off the road here when an idea comes to me. But, oh, here comes someone else. Okay, well, that break took longer than I thought because 5 cars went back and forth past me. That's weird. I see and hear no cars until I start recording, and then car. It's wild how that works. It's like a magic trick. Anyway, I'm gonna, I guess, get off the beaten path here somewhere. But anyway, I want to talk about my experiences and what it feels like and why it is disconcerting, I think, being a dissident in this society that we live in, this digital fake society we live in. We're not gonna do that bench. We're gonna do the one up next to the bushes. I think that's the one we're gonna do. I would like to go over there, but they don't like me on their property. They don't like anybody over there, so I don't go over there. But that would be fun to walk and sit at that old decrepit barn. That would be nice. So what we're gonna do is we are going to go this way and have a sit. I've already had plenty of walking today. Let's go this way. All right. So, anyway, I like the people that I've been friends with since I was a young teenager, like 11. I've known these guys for, what's this, 25 years now? No, 35 years now, because I'm in my mid-40s. They're nice guys. They're around my age. A couple of them a few years older, 1 or 2 of them a few years younger. Like, we're all within the same, 5 to 6 year age group. Most of them are married and have kids. Most of them bring their kids to the store, and they play the tabletop games together. And they don't seem particularly paused. They don't seem particularly MAGA or Democrat, right? They don't seem one way or the other. They just seem like normal, from around here people. Like, to my knowledge, none of them are race mixers. None of them are, of an egregious job or, I don't know, moral persuasion, I guess I could say. They all seem pretty normal. And now, why is that weird? Why do I have dissonance with that? Well, I think it's because I have spent too much time connected to people on the internet talking about culture war stuff. Because I've pretty much been engaged since Gamergate, 10 years of my life. My mid-30s to my mid-40s have basically been doing nothing but staying jacked into the culture war via the internet. And I think that's millions of us. I think millions of us are like me in that regard. And I believe that creates some kind of dissonance with being able to interact with, in a genuine way, people who aren't like that. Because the last several Sundays that I've gone to visit them, every time that I think of making a joke or laughing at something because it reminds me of something from a podcast, from the news, from people who cover the news, from the culture war or from something even less known on the internet. It's like I want to speak in an alien language that I don't think that they'll understand. Like yesterday at the gaming store, I 2 or 3 times I said something that just landed on deaf ears and no one had any response at all. It was like I was just making a sound. It was like someone would say a thing and people were chuckling, and then I just went whoop whoop or beep beep or zeeble bop, and I just contributed sounds to what was going on. And each one of those 2 or 3 times, I realized it was because I was referencing a meme or something that's so ubiquitous on the internet that I just assumed it was okay to say in normal speech. And it fell on deaf ears like I was an alien just making sounds. And that was weird. And I don't like it. So, I guess where I'm going with this is, it's strange being in this war because I lament being taken from that, and yet now I'm alien to that thing that this war pulled me away from because of this war. It's like this ugly cycle of, I want to do something about the evil, I want to do something about the lies, I want to do something about the general awareness and productivity of the people in my area. And so that's sort of what drove me towards all of this shit starting 9 or 10 years ago. And here I am with a moderate, a small, moderate amount of financial and social success doing podcasting and advocacy and networking and that kind of thing. I make barely enough money now after 6 years to make this worth my time. And the whole reason I wanted to do this was to see if I could contribute to making things better, who out there thinks like me, and I could have a friend in this together. And so I have succeeded along those lines, but at what cost? At the cost of being alienated from the very things I was angry that I was being alienated from in the beginning? Like, it's messed up, man. It's messed up how my perceptions and beliefs and thoughts and socializing and participation and all this culture war shit for the last 10 years, it's made me almost impossible to feel like I belong to even the people that I grew up with and were best friends with for most of my life. And so, I'm glad that they enjoy seeing me again. I just wish I enjoyed it more. Because so far, it's not really been that enjoyable. I'm having to make myself like it. Sort of like how maybe if there's a healthy food you need to eat for health reasons and you don't really like it at first, so you have to make yourself like it. Sort of like that, right? So, I suppose what I'm saying here is, I want it to feel better, but I also want it to be genuine, and I just don't know if that's possible. And so, I don't really know where I'm going with this. It feels good, but at the same time, I don't, like, how do I change gears and go back to acting like the last 10 years didn't happen? Because I've spent many Sundays now, my entire afternoons, hanging out with these people. They don't reference anything in the news. They don't reference anything in pop culture. They don't reference anything going on in the world. They don't make jokes or references to anything. Anything. Except jokes from like the 80s and 90s. And occasionally like an early aughts meme or TV show reference. It's like if I hadn't have stayed jacked in and plugged into the last 10 or 11 years of news media, what would I be like? Would I be like them? Would I just be so detached? Or is it something else? Are they aware of what's going on? See, this is where my mind goes when I visit with them. And it's a me problem, because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what is it that makes them like they are? Like, did something happen, like during the Obama administration, that made them just tune out? Or why don't they care? They've all got children. They've all apparently care about, like, they have a very functional family group. There's 3 brothers. They're all 3 married. They all 3 have kids. They all play tabletop war games together. And there's a bunch of friends of ours that are in this community. So it's a lot of people who are from here, who know each other, and who seemingly are invested in the future. So do they just not listen to the news? Do they not know what's going on? See, I don't think so. I think something happened along the way that made regular folks around here disinterested or too upset or shell-shocked to talk about it, because they just don't want the bullshit that comes with talking about it. Or they just want to bury their heads in the sand and not care. And so all of those things I just constantly think about all the time. I'm sick. I'm obsessed with this war shit. And I can't let it go. Even when I make myself go around people who don't care about this stuff, my mind still cares about it. And I think, what's wrong with them? Why aren't they this way? That's sick in me. That's a sickness in me. And I'm trying to beat that sickness. I don't think everybody should be radicalized, I guess. Or, I don't know. Maybe I'm just so abnormal now that I can't enjoy anything normal. I don't know. And I don't want that to be the case, but it's sure starting to feel like the case. That I don't know if I can do it anymore. Like, what have I turned myself into? What have I become? A content machine. A networker for political and social activism and advocacy and preparing for the collapse. That's basically all I've done with the last, 6 years of my life, 7 years of my life. And a big part of my mind resents regular people and normal people who can just be, because I can't. And so, on a petty, sinful level, I am jealous of my normal friends who laugh and smile and have families and kids. Even though I think that I know more than them and I'm smarter than them and have done more to help their kids have a future than they have, I know that that can't be true. A father and a mother do more for their child than I ever will. It's the sickness of the radicalization in this war. And I think it's the same sickness that our enemies on the other side suffer from. The cat ladies, the non-whites in government and HR departments and stuff that think white people and Christians should be marginalized. They think that they're doing good for others who don't know better. And see, that same sickness is in me. That same desire and belief that I know better than the regular man, and he should do what I say for the embetterment of his kids and his future, that lives in me. Is that a sickness? Is that what being activated by the will to power is like? No matter what the political ideology or left versus right tilt is on that? Is that what it's like for people like me who become activated in this? Are we just deprived feeling normal or having normal connections ever again? See, I worry about this shit because the whole reason I wanted to try to reach out and do normal stuff again was to try to stop this. And I know I've only been 4 Sundays to visit with them because it's every other Sunday that they meet and do stuff. So maybe 5 Sundays now, I don't know. But the last couple months of every other Sunday, I've been visiting them. And my mind doesn't turn off. I don't enjoy the games they play. I don't get to escape from this, from thinking about the war and white erasure and how everything is a lie and how the media is so corrupt and so disgusting with its propaganda and its mind control and shit. I can't stop thinking about it. And I want everyone else to think about it. I'm sick. And I need to stop. But my mind doesn't want to stop. And I feel like I am like divinely driven to not stop. Someone needs to care about this shit and talk about it. But maybe that someone shouldn't be me. Because maybe I'm disturbed. Maybe it takes a disturbed person to be able to deal with this shit all the time. But I'm not dealing with it well, am I? Maybe I'm not cut out for this anymore. Maybe I never was. I don't like how I've changed. I don't like how hard it is for me to even think about anything creative or want to read a fiction novel or want to look at a D&D book again, which I barely do anymore. I haven't done that in years. I tried doing it this weekend and I got a little ways into it, but my mind was like, why are you wasting your time on this? Go back to fighting. Go back to Twitter. Go back to YouTube. Go back to Rumble. That's not healthy. That's sick. I want to be free of that, but I don't know how. Especially since I've made a living doing this. What do I do? I don't know. I want to have stuff in my life that's fulfilling and fun and creative again. But it's like I only want that in the abstract. And when I try to do it, my brain rejects it. It stays focused and obsessed with all this shit. All this Go Free lexicon stuff. And all of this power structure, elite theory stuff. And all of political machinations. And having to try to keep straight the thousands of lies we've been told just since I've been paying attention. It's all my brain can do. It obsesses over all of this. And I want free of it. I want free of this. I don't know if I can be. I'm trying. I just don't know if I can be. I don't know if I can ever feel fulfilled or joyful again, despite how much I try. I don't know. I want to. I'm putting in the effort. But my mind stays obsessed. And I wish it didn't. So that's what I want. That's what's haunting me, is that. I need to wrap up this video. I've talked a long time, but I need to get back and start work. Anyway, I gotta go back to the news trough yet again this week and root around in all of the garbage to try to make something funny for tonight's stream. And I wish that I could let all of this go and do something else, but I can't. Maybe one day I can. I don't know. But until then, I'm going to keep making content because it's all I know to do, and I have to eat. So, that's that. Anyway, maybe things will get better the more time that I try to pull myself away from all this and make myself be quote-unquote normal, or whatever the hell that means. Anyway, Empire of Lies Thursday night, 6 p.m., and I'll be back next Monday night with more Discordant Dragons. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I hope you make better choices than I did. God bless.